Hello everyone, welcome back to newearth.land. Shelter, energy, food and water, those things can be basic rights. We can make it that way if that's what we want to do. But today we're going to be talking about the moment you realise you're dreaming. Just as Rumi said, this place is a dream, only a sleeper considers it real. And then death comes like dawn and you wake up laughing at what you thought was your grief. It's an incredible epiphany to occur in your life, if indeed it does. Perhaps it's the next life, perhaps the life after that. It might not be in this lifetime for everyone, but it certainly happened to Neo in the Matrix.
Let me out! Let me out! I want out!
Easy, Neo. Easy.
Get this thing. Don't touch me. Get away from me. Stay away from me. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I don't believe it.
It's gonna pop.
Breathe. Just breathe.
And so what he's experiencing there is this incredible disorientation, right? He vomits and he just can't believe it. You know, it's just a total disorientation. It's something that I experienced in 2014. And everyone thought I was completely bonkers. My friends thought I was insane. My mum wanted to phone an ambulance. And yet I knew immediately that something profound had happened to me, and it's difficult to communicate. And really, you can only do it through analogies. I think if I were to offer some analogies, it would be that of like a balloon. Like if you think of your balloon as your egoic structure, and you know, so you draw a face on the balloon. Hello, my name's Adam, and then one day something comes along, perhaps a little pin, and it pops the balloon, and your awareness, which was formerly contained within the sheath of the balloon, is now just evaporated into the ether, and it's become one. It's now this non-dualistic notion, right, that we again know of in Buddhism. And another analogy to think of it in the sense of more of a feeling that you can have. It's like that sensation of being frightened immediately, right? Say it's nighttime, you go into your room and you see something out the window. It's like that immediate gasp. That's the sensation that I felt. And also, like if you think of the symbol of Aquarius, the water bearer pouring the waters, like I think of this reservoir, this huge potential of water, and the wall cracks. You know, the illusion of matter is dissipated, and these waters come falling down on your boat, and you're all in these turbulent waters, and it takes a while for it to steady. That is some of the analogies that I think I use to explain the sensation of Satori or Kensho, which I think they're similar terms. It's something that I think is available to everyone. You know, it's something that is inevitable for everyone at some point. And it's just the distraction of society that keeps us from actually experiencing what is invariable eventually for all individuals, because that is our divine path through creation. We are to evolve back into a more etheric state, back into a melded condition with the universe itself, into the realization that we are actually the universe itself, experiencing itself subjectively through all of these different perspectives. And I see actually really is what's happening is the equilibrium of mind has been thrown off. We're living in this sort of left brain prisonhood. I'm actually reminded of, I think, a neuroscientist called Jill Bolte Taylor, who gave a TED talk, and she had a tumor in her left brain, so her sort of left brain went offline, and she mentioned this separation, you know, from her body, and this expansive nature emerge, and it would occasionally come back online again, and she'd be able to phone 999 for help. Well, it's probably 911 if she was American, I can't remember, but you know, she'd basically just start flipping between this expansive state and then back into this constricted state of her own body. And this for me was sort of like a way that a neuroscientist can directly experience the power of the left brain and just the brain in general, and how it restricts this state of consciousness. If you think of Simsum, which is this I think Hebrew, like Jewish concept of contraction, like this is really what the ego is a contracted state of awareness that can be transcended. And that's really what all of these esoteric traditions are about. This is what I feel is the treasure of our education system that has been pillaged and robbed from us. And we're left with what we consider to be Western education, which is just all of the sort of like lesser metals and lesser treasures. It's not that they're not worthy, and it's not that they're not valuable. It's just that the actual core, the seed of everything that's come all the way from Egypt, Lemuria, Atlantis. If you want to, we'll do videos on that. But basically, throughout history, the Renaissance, it was all this rebirth of the psyche that came by way of balance and the sacred feminine, the intuition, the imagination. And I'm reminded of a William Blake quote, which goes something along the lines of, "The tree that moves some to tears of joy is, in the eyes of others, a mere green thing that stands in the way. Some see natural deformity and ridicule, and some scarce see nature at all. But to the eyes of imagination, nature is imagination itself." So it's an incredible statement, this, because it just sort of makes you realize the power that we can have over our own minds, and how that power has been taken away from us because so many people are living in a way, like he's suggesting, that the tree is just this thing that stands in the way. There is no feeling, there is no time for us to dwell and meditate on the beauty and majesty and miraculous nature of everything that's happening around us, including all the processes that are currently occurring in my body. The ability that I'm even able to like cognize and see the world around, all of this incredible amazement. And another Hermetic statement, I think, was along the lines of, humble amazement is a prerequisite for coming to know God. So I don't want to use the term God, because obviously there's lots of knee-jerk reactions, but really God is just another word for everything. Everything is energy. And this energy is ultimately consciousness. It's an infinite field of mind. And if we can move away from this condition of just seeing a tree as a mere green thing that stands in the way, and start to feel the beauty that's all around us, I feel like this is what is the seed that can germinate and blossom into the fullness of who we are, the full humanity of who we actually are, because it's arrested development as it stands. We're living in a society of stagnation psychologically. So what we need to do is create more freedom in the world so we can actually come together and create these conditions of true freedom, abundance, and well-being for all, so that we can actually start to embrace our humanity. We can start to live more harmoniously, not only with nature, but with ourselves. We're living in this weird world of atomized sort of egoic behavior, where it's all attritional. Everyone is sort of like out for themselves. It's all this one-upmanship. And it's not a very pleasant experience, really. And I've been living considerable many years now, sort of seemingly on my own, where solitude seems to be the only answer for now, because it's very difficult to talk about these things in conversation, because it's so deep, it sort of exceeds the expectations of most social interactions. But really, again, I'm always going to be repeating the Albert Einstein quote of, "No problem can be solved from the same level of consciousness that created it," because that is the truth. Like, we have to, if we want to see liberation, if we want to see the end of all of this suffering that's happening just at your general, like, Joe Blow down the road, people sort of moving with the tide of capitalism into the cities, out of the cities, work, eat, sleep, work, eat, sleep, this routine that's keeping us, and like these drones, we're living these lives of quiet desperation. We're just living these sort of mechanical existence, which in a way it's but a blessing that AI is coming along to some extent, because robots and computers can do what are actually robotic and mechanistic tasks. Humans are much more than that. Like, these robotic jobs that people have are just sort of like really just conspiring for our own illness. And so we need to be much more liberated than this. We need to be much more free. newearth.land, if you'd like to learn about how we can actually do that together, it involves participation. It involves ultimately action, which is the child of when we put our thoughts and our feelings together. We can rise our consciousness, the Kundalini will raise, and we will begin to evaporate our minds back into the cosmos, where we realize the oneness that we're all a part of ultimately, and we're not separate. The idea that we're separate from the world around us is an optical illusion in consciousness, which is another Einstein quote. So, the moment when this occurs is an incredible moment, and it's something that, again, is there for everyone. And I want to help people have this realization and have this attainment in their life, because it will be like nothing other they've experienced. It's like, I think I heard somewhere, the secret of the spiritually awake is to die before you die and find there is no death. So people are walking around with this illusion that they are going to somehow, expire. And of course, this transient physiological system is, but that's just what we're occupying. The soul is, of course, eternal. There are aspects of the soul, at least, that are eternal, and there are perishable components. We shall be getting into the 7 bodies of man, and the Rudolf Steiner stuff soon. So anyway, though, that's just a little video on the moment, and I'll talk to you in other videos about the personal experience I had and why I think that happened to me, and you know, some of the stuff that I was looking into before this happened to me is very much transformation, not only in your psyche, but also your sociological life. Friends and your general social circles will change. Your whole life will change completely. It is like another life begins and one falls away. So anyway, thanks very much for watching this video. I'll see you in the next one.